You know, as I'm sitting here pondering on this full moon, I have a message that Spirit wants to convey. And that message is pertaining to forgiveness. As we embark on our spiritual journey, we oftentimes reach a standstill when doing shadow work because we lack the strength to forgive. Forgiveness is a superpower. Whether you want to believe that or not, it is. It pulls much more out of you to forgive than to hold a grudge against someone. So as we sit here and we do our shadow work and we think about the people that have wronged us, and we think about the people who have disrespected us, and we think about the people who have trespassed against us, physically hurt us, financially hurt us, and harmed us, and crip walked on our motherfucking boundaries. It's very, very hard to let those feelings go. It's very, very hard to let those feelings go. It is detrimental to your ascension. And I'm going to tell you why. The heart chakra is the center of everything. The heart chakra is the in-between between the lower Kundalini system and the upper Kundalini system. And the heart is the filter. So when we've wrecked our root chakra with promiscuity, sexual traumas, which onsets promiscuity, lack of spiritual awareness, and the blockage in the sacral chakra, blockage in the solar plexus chakra due to lack of self-love, because you're still living in your pain body and you're not in a place where you are willing to forgive. The heart chakra serves as the filter to relieve and relinquish and release all of those feelings. And so when we don't do that, we're blocking our ability to ascend. Forgiveness is a superpower. It takes much more energy to forgive than it does to hold a grudge. Believe me, I know. I can't speak on shit but my own experiences, because I try my best to be humble out here in these spirit streets. What I will say is this. Somebody told me this many, many years ago, and when she told me, I looked at her like, fuck out my face with that bullshit. But this woman told me, she said, forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. It's so fucking corny. It's so fucking cliche, but it's so fucking true. Allow me to elaborate. You can forgive and still choose to never speak to that person again in your fucking life. You can still find the forgiveness in your heart and choose not to consort and share energy with another individual. But when you harbor feelings of resentment, when you harbor anger, hatred, and jealousy, and the need for revenge, which is not yours to exact, because that is the soul mission of karma, and she not gonna let nobody upstage her ass. when we lack the power to let go and let the divine obtain these things on our behalf. And we ask the divine to come in and let us release, to help us release these feelings. We get to a space where you're not surrendering your power. You're not surrendering your power. You're surrendering your pain. You're surrendering your hurt. You're surrendering your resentment. And you're having faith that the thing that created us will come in and not only take it, but balance the scales in divine order. And to not allow spirit to do that shows lack of faith. So how can you ascend with no faith? What is it exactly that you are ascending to? Love is stronger than pride. So once you let those feelings go that are being harbored in the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and in your solar plexus chakra, and allow it to be released so that you can ascend, you can get to a point where you can be in balance, where you can express yourself from an authentic space, but also not from a space of bitterness. There's a fucking difference. People are going to project. That is what people do. Everybody has done it. I've done it. Can you admit that you have? Everybody's projected before. Everybody has projected those low-level feelings upon others, whether it be beknownst or unbeknownst. Nobody is innocent of this. Nobody is innocent of this. So when you get to that higher level of understanding and understanding and overstanding, it alters your perception because you are able to fully grasp why people do the things that they do. It has absolutely nothing to do with you, because they are operating from their lower level chakras and they have not ascended. And we have all been there once upon a time. And he who is perfect and he who has never experienced any of this, show me them. It's a part of the journey. But this is where a lot of people get stuck. This is where a lot of people get stuck. We experience projection at a very, very young age. And a lot of times, well, most times, people are projecting subconsciously. And they don't know that they're doing it. They don't understand that they're doing it. And they don't understand why they're doing it. Because they don't have that level of consciousness within themselves to understand that they're projecting. I remember being a very, very young girl, getting jumped in my neighborhood trying to make friends. I remember young girls telling me, "Oh, you think you all that? Yeah, don't you?" Sometimes people project on you because they see qualities in you that people say they wish they had them within themselves, but I feel like we all have all of these qualities within ourselves because there is no separation. However, if certain qualities have not been brought out, if certain qualities have not been highlighted, if certain qualities have been repressed, And the shadow self has convinced you that it doesn't exist. So you're not able to properly display that within yourself. Then you will see others with these qualities that you want to bring out of yourself, and then you will project onto them unbeknownst. And we've all gone through that as well. But again, that goes back to hurt people hurting people. That's what hurt people do. Hurt people hurt people. You get to a point in your ascension where you start to hover above these feelings and merely observe them as they're passing by. Observe the fleeting thoughts as they're passing by, and not owning it. And that is how you elevate. But there is no ascension without forgiveness. There is no ascension without self-forgiveness, without forgiving yourself for the mistakes that you have made as well. Without taking accountability for the mistakes that you've made as well. Because human beings tend to take a stance of everything being everyone else's fault. There has to be duality and accountability as well. Because when you're not accountable for what you're attracting and what you're allowing, you'll have a situation come to a head, but you'll be right back in a cycle with someone else, whether it be instantaneously or down the line, because you're in a cycle, and you have to break that cycle by taking accountability for your actions and what you're projecting and what you're attracting as well. Everyone needs to take a very strong, hard look in the mirror and start taking accountability for their actions and healing it and letting it flow up through the heart. So when you get to the point where you're working on your throat chakra, what you're saying is coming from the heart. Yep. I'm just in my head.